Greetings and welcome to Our Crochet Connection. Today we are making the cute little clusters on page 17 of the Big Book of Crochet Stitches. And you can find that book, like I said, on Amazon, or you can check out our website. And we have it there as well, investinyouandshine.com. Okay, so this is what the finished product looks like. It's really cute, isn't it? Look at them, they're little popping out. Okay, this might be cute for a nice little sweater, or like a ribbing around some socks, some slipper socks, or something of that nature. Okay? All right, so the chain multiples this particular pattern suggests is 3 plus 2, and you remember that the first number represents the number necessary for the design, which you multiply it by the number by the length that you want. And so for this one we multiplied it by 7, so we got 21, and then you add the plus 2, which is the turning chains that is necessary to make the stitch. Okay, so we did that. We made 21 plus 2, which gave us a total of 23 stitches. If you take a look at them here, you know this is just where the hook connects with the yarn, so this doesn't count, right? And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. Okay, so this doesn't count. This little piece, this little knot here, that's just the slip knot. It doesn't count. Sometimes I snug it up, make it a little tighter so that I am aware that it doesn't count. But that's the way that you count your V's, your chains, by just counting the V's. So this is the front side. Your front side should always be consistent, one complete row of V's, right? Your back side is a row of chains. Okay, so you see those? All those chains. These are the back bumps that I like to actually go into. All right, so for the first row, it actually says that we are going to go into, you guessed it, the second chain from the hook, right? We very rarely go into the first, right? So the second chain from the hook is here. So this is the yarn and the hook are connected. This doesn't count. The first bump would be right there. You see it? That little doodad right there, and then that's the second one. If you flip it over to the front side, it's sometimes easier to see depending on who you are and what resonates with you. But this is the V, the first V, and this is the second V. Okay, so that's the second chain from the hook. This is the one you actually want to go into. So not this, not this, this. Me, I like to go into the back bump. So I know that that's my second chain from the hook. I'm going to flip my work over here, and I'm going to go into that back bump insertion point. Okay, so there it is. And sometimes it's a little tricky. Sometimes you have to fold it. If you're not interested in going into the back bump, I'll show you another way to do it as well, okay? But I like to go into the back bump, and you already have probably heard why. It makes it look the same on the bottom as it does on the top. All right, so there's my back bump. I'm really just putting the bump onto the hook, okay? Nice and easy. All right, so I have the entire bump on the hook. Okay, so you can take a look at that a little bit better now. I want you to be able to see that. That's the bump, and I put it on the hook. Okay, now if you're going to go into it from the front, there's a couple different ways. You can go directly in the center here, and you're going to just pull up just that back loop. Okay, sometimes what happens is you go into the center and you get the back loop and the back bump on. It's not big to do, but it's just not necessary, so you don't have to have the back bump on. So you could, what I'm trying to show you is that there are so many different components of the V, of the chain. Okay, so there's this front loop here thingy, there's that back loop thingy there, and then there's that back bump thingy there. Okay, If you're going in from the front, you only want the back loop on, minus the bump. Okay? All right. Since I'm going into the back bump completely, I flip my work over and I put this onto the hook, like so. And then I'm going to do a single crochet. So I went into the insertion point, which for me is the back bump, which for you may be the front first loop, or the back loop, excuse me. And then I yarned over, okay, which is just crossing the yarn over your hook. And then I'm pulling the hook out of the insertion point, keeping the yarn over on. So it looks as if I have 2 loops on. And then I'm yarning over again, and I'm pulling through both of the loops that are on the hook. Now, some of that may be seamless for you. I'm going to go again in another one just so I can show you what I'm talking about. Some of that may be absolutely seamless. You may not even notice that you are actually yarning over. Why is that? Because sometimes, depending on how you hold your yarn, if you're holding your yarn like this and you're just, doing like that, that's, you're wrapping your hook around the yarn. That's also considered a yarn over, and you're pulling it through. It may happen so fast for you. Okay, and so there you go, you have 2 loops on. All right, then you're going to yarn over and you're going to pull those 2 loops off. Okay, and you're going to continue to do that all the way down. So row 2, blooper, row 1 actually says to do a single crochet in each chain from down the line. Okay, so you go into the second one and then each one down. So you can go ahead and do that and press pause on the tape if you want. I have such a short row here. Okay, only 23 that we started out with, and then we're really going to end up with 22. And why is that? Well, because we did not go into the first chain. We went into the second chain from the hook. Okay? Alright, so you're going to work your way all the way down. You see my single crochets? They're coming out really nicely. And you're going to work your way all the way down. I'm going to press pause here, and I'll meet you back when I finish. Okay, so I got to the end here, right? I did all of my single crochets. Looks really pretty. I love it. I'm such a crochet geek. Now, I'm going to change colors just because I like to show the variation in the rows, but you don't have to. And I'm going to do it properly this time. In some of the other videos, I didn't do it the way that I would want you to do it. So why I'm mentioning this is because when you're changing rows, there's a couple of different ways you can do it. One of the ways that I like to do it is by preparing from the previous stitch. So from here, right, instead of doing my yarn over with my white thread, I'm going to do it with the color that I want to change to, which is pink, right? I wonder why. So I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to pull it right on through as if I was completing the stitch, okay? And that's how I did my color. That's how I do my color change. Okay, so because the goal is to have the post to be the previous color and the joining loop to be the new color. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut off the previous color, which is the white. And now I'm all set to do my new color. Now, with the directive is to first chain 1, because that's our turning chain. There's always a turning chain to keep your piece congruent. You chain 1, yarn over, and pull through to chain 1. And so that actually snugs up the yarn with the hook, okay? I mean the yarn with the piece. So it's not going to come out. As you can see, it's kind of like it's bound. All right, and so then you want to turn it, okay? And it says so now we can clearly see that this is the chain 1 that we did, right? It says to single crochet in the first single crochet. So that would be here, okay? So I'm going to go in here. Now remember, we're going to find the V for that single crochet. We're looking directly underneath the V, That's the hole, that's your insertion point. You're going to insert it here, putting the loop, the V onto the hook, okay? And then you're going to yarn over and you're going to pull it out of the insertion point. Lift the 2 loops on. Regular single crochet behavior, yarning over and pulling off the 2, okay? So you made 1 single crochet. And then it says to work a cluster in the next single crochet. If you take a look at the stitch guide in the Big Book of Crochet Stitches, the cluster is like so. You yarn over, okay? You go into this insertion point, which is for here, the specified stitch is the next single crochet, okay? You go in and you yarn over and you pull it out of the insertion point, okay? And then you yarn over and you pull through 2. It wants you to do that 5 times. Okay, so that was 1. Now here's 2. Yarn over, insert, same space, yarn over, out, pulling up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so that was time number 2. Again, yarn over, inserting it into the same space, yarn over, pull up the loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, 3. Yarn over, insert into the same space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. 5 loops on. Okay, and we've done it how many times? Let's count. 4, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4. How do I count? How do I know? Because of the posts. You look at you can separate it here. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and there's 4. Now we're going to go again. Yarn over, insert it into the next space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, 6 loops on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, and then yarn over and pull through all 6 of those loops. And that's your cluster. The next thing it says is to single crochet in the next 2 single crochets. So there's no normal, a lot of times with clusters you would do a chain here to bind it. It doesn't say that in this pattern. Okay, it just says to go right into the next single crochet and do a single crochet. So I'm going to go right on over and I'm going to do a single crochet. What it does say though is to push the puff forward. So you have to kind of push it forward, see? And then there you go. So that's 1 single crochet made, puff made, single crochet. And then next one, single crochet in the next one because it says twice. Okay, boom. Okay, puff and 2 singles. And it says to repeat that from the star all the way across. So we're going to yarn over, go into the next insertion point, which is the next single crochet, and complete a cluster. Insert, yarn over, pull it out, yarn over, pull through 2. 1 done. It says to do that 5 times, right? 1, once is here, we're going to do it again. So we yarned over, insert into the same insertion point, yarn over, pull it out, yarn over, pull through 2. Again, yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. 3. Yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. 5. Yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull up a loop. 6 loops on. 5 made. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 posts, you see them? Take a good look. You have to separate them a little bit. If you separate the loops, you can see them even better. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 loops are on. You're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through all 6 of the loops. And then you're going to single crochet in the next 2 single crochets. So here, 1. Next one is 2. Okay, and you're going to do that all the way down. You're going to do 2 singles, puff, or cluster. Looks puffy though, right? 2 singles, cluster, 2 singles, cluster, all the way down. When you get to the end, you should have 2 single crochets left. So this last one should be a puff, and then you're going to have these 2 remaining if you did it the way we said. All right, so I'm going to press pause, and I'm going to come right back when I get down to here to show you what I mean. Okay, so I got all the way down, and as you can see, I have 7 puffs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'm at the end, 7 clusters. They're really puffy though. You can alter the pattern too, you know, they might be a little puffier than you like. But anywho, so you get to the end here and you're going to do 2 single crochets, 1, 2, okay? It's at the end. One and 2. Okay, and that's that. So that's the end of the row. All right, and then I'm gonna just go back and take this out because you know I'm gonna switch my colors again, so that's why I'm going back. You don't have to go back and do what I'm doing right now. I'm just switching colors because we're gonna begin the next row. And this is such an easy pattern too, once you get the gist of it. All right, so I just switched my colors out, and I'm gonna cut off my pink, and I'm going to, it says to chain 1, okay, so there we go, our chain 1, and then it says to turn, and then it says for row 3 through 5 that we're going to be doing a single crochet in each of the stitches in this row. So these 3 rows are just a complete row of single crochets in the tops of this whole pattern, of the whole previous row. Okay? So that's that. All the way down. Okay. So we're just doing single crochet all the way down. You can see like where the next place is because of the V's. Okay, so there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, they're the V's. So you want to go right into those V's and pull up a loop and do your single crochet. It's going to give you a nice little foundation to work off of. Okay, so I'm going to do this row with you, kinda, hope you can see. You got to kind of really get your stitchings there, your bearings. Okay, there's my V right there on top of the cluster. Okay, this is row 3, and we're single crocheting all the way down. Voila! Last one. And then when we get to the end, you know what we do, we chain 1 and turn. Okay, and we're gonna do a whole nother row and then another row, so 2 more rows of single crochet. Okay, so go ahead and get busy with that. I'll meet you back. Okay, so I did it. I made it all the way down to the end. I did 3 rows of single crochet, in each of the stitches. And the next row is very similar to row 2. Okay, row 6 and row 2 are very similar. Row 6, the difference between row 6 and row 2 is that when you're finished at the end, you're only going to have 1 single crochet to go into as opposed to 2 like we had before. Okay, but the rest of the pattern is the same. Okay, so again, I'm going to switch out my colors. Okay. Like so. And here we go. So I switched out my colors, and what does it say? You guessed it, you're going to chain 1 and turn at the end of row 5, right? So now we're going into row 6. Okay, with row 6, same deal. It says to do a single crochet this time in the first 2 stitches though. So we're doing the 2 stitches in the beginning this time for row 6. So inserting it, yarning over, pulling up a loop, pulling through. Inserting it, yarning over, pulling up a loop, yarning over, pulling it through. And then it says to do a cluster in the next single crochet. So we know how to do that. We yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull off 2. We do that how many times? 5. So same deal, in the same specified stitch, the next single crochet. Okay. All right. Same deal. Okay. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yarning over and pulling off. Okay. And then the next 2 single crochets in the next 2. And we're going to do that all the way down for this row. Okay, 2 singles, cluster next. Okay. Yarning over, pulling through all 6. Okay, and then you guessed it, 2 singles. And we're going to do that the entire way. Okay, doing another cluster here. Okay. And we're going to work our way all the way down. So continue doing that until you get to 1 single crochet will be left over. Okay. All right, so just to go over really quickly, we started out the row with the previous row ended with the chain 1, right, which is our turning chain. Then we did 2 single crochets to begin, then cluster, then 2 single crochets are in the center piece here, cluster, 2 singles, cluster, 2 singles, cluster, 2 singles, cluster, all the way down until you only have 1 single crochet remaining at the end. Okay, so I'll meet you back and we'll go through that. Okay, so I got all the way down to the end there, and there's my last single crochet, and I'm going to do a single crochet into that space. Okay, like so. All right, and done. And then it wants me to the next row. So for rows, that was the end of row 6. Row 7 and row 8 and 9 are exactly like rows 3, 4, and 5. They're just rows of single crochet right on top of there, okay? So I'm going to do the same thing just so that we can see the difference. I'm going to actually change my yarn color before I get to that row. Okay, so yarn color changing. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, so then I'm going to chain 1 before I turn and then turn. Okay, or you can do it after you turn. It doesn't really make a difference. The thing with the turning is that I like to do it after sometimes, because so I can definitely see where the next space is. Because I'm changing colors, it's very clear that this is the next space. But if I wasn't, sometimes this one can be mistaken for the next space, but it's not. That's the turning chain, okay? So now we're going to do a single crochet in this stitch, which is right there. Okay, the last single crochet. And we're going to do a single crochet in each stitch all the way down. Okay, so in all of these V's, you see those V's at the top there? We're going to take a look underneath them, and they all have insertion points for us. Okay, so we're going to go right into here, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, and you're going to go into there with all of them. Okay, and so again, rows 7, 8, and rows 9 all are rows of single crochet. Okay, all the way down. And after you get to the end of row 9, the pattern repeats itself. That's it. It repeats from 2 through 9. Okay? You just continue to repeat it, and that's how you get the structure for this pattern. So here I'm at the end. I'm going to chain 1 to keep the piece. That's how me chaining 1, us chaining 1 is how we're keeping this line even between the rows. Okay. All right. So that's that. Ooh, looks so pretty. And then again, same thing. So you see what I was talking about before, like this doesn't count. That's the first chain 1, right, that we did. This is where we're going to go into, okay, underneath it, not inside the V, underneath and putting the V on. All right, and you're going to go ahead and do that all the way down again, and then for row 9 as well. Okay, so I'm going to leave you here with this, and thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions, you can send your questions to connect@ourcrochetconnection.com. I'd be more than happy to assist you. And until next time, beloveds, happy crafting.